The biggest risk comes from staying silent. We are very privileged and very lucky to be able to have the blessing to be able to let our voices be heard and let our votes be heard, along with letting our opinions be able to make a difference in this country. However, it's something that many of us may take for granted. And we were able to see this in the last voting turnout in the last presidential election when one third of eligible Americans not voting, which means that a whopping 77 million of Americans that were eligible did not vote and chose to stay at home. Hi, my name is Leo Fabian, and today I will be talking about the importance of voting and why we should all be involved politically so that we are able to spark a change and spark a difference with our voices, although it may seem something minuscule that we have to vote. One vote can turn into 100 votes, and then 100 votes can turn into 1,000 votes. And when these things start to add up, we can see that change is something that is very much more than possible. And today I will be talking about three major points about non-voters. So my first point is actually going to be about the statistics behind the non-voters and which groups are more likely to not vote, along with my second point being about why these people may not be voting and why they may choose to opt out of voting. My third point will actually be how we can get these people more involved in voting and how we can get them more involved politically, because at the end of the day we all share the same nation and we all share this land and we all live under the same laws, and it's something that affects all of us. And if we make a change for the better, then it means that we are all living a better life. And which leads me to the first point about one third of Americans being opted out of voting because they chose to stay at home. 77 million votes went undocumented because people chose not to. They may have felt as if it was unimportant or something not worth their time. But matter of fact, it's something that's more than worth your time. 35% of these people, according to The Hill, an article by The Hill, 35% of these Americans were men and 33% of them were women. And this leads us to infer that women are more likely to vote due to their suffrage that they earned and their hard work that went into being able to vote, which means that their appreciation for voting is much greater than that of men, at least in some cases. Along with this, we are able to see that most non-voters come actually out of southern states, which could be due to rivalry between the South and the West, the South and the North from the Civil War. Along with this, we are also able to infer that by an article by The Hill, we are able to tell that sorry about that. We are also able to tell that young people are at the lowest volunteering for voting. They are the lowest active and have the lowest activity in voting, and this is something that must change because it's something that can prove to be very negative due to the fact that the direction of the nation actually being in the hands of the young people, because at the end of the day we are going to be the ones that are going to be in charge of future decisions and everything like that. And which leads me to my second point, which is why people may choose not to vote and why they may choose to be inactive in voting. And many of this is due to the fact that they feel disconnected from the government. They feel as if their vote is going to prove to be unimportant and is going to prove to be something that doesn't even matter in the long run, which makes it not worth their time. However, this is something that's very not true due to the fact that one vote can turn into millions of votes. The voice of one person is where it all starts. And to spark a change, it starts with one person, and that turns into one group, and that turns into one movement. Which leads me to say that there is, especially in minority groups, there is many who may feel as if the government is not working with them and rather against them. Especially in Latinos, in the Latino group, we are able to see that they feel disconnected from the government and they feel oppressed and they feel prejudiced towards them, which leads them to be less likely to vote and be less likely to be involved politically because they feel as if they're not part of this nation and they're not part of being a U.S. citizen, although they may be. And this leads me to my third point, which is about how we can make this, how we can change this, and how we can get more people involved. And the biggest thing that we could do as a nation is target more for the minority audience and target them more so that we are able to provide more benefits for them. Because if we provide more benefits for them, we are able to make them feel more welcome, and we are able to make them feel more as if they're part of this nation rather than as if they're fighting against this nation. Along with this, we can also offer incentives to be able to get more people in the voting ballots and being able to provide them with benefits, such as in the past there has been like uh, food coupons if you vote, if you have a voting sticker, and this can actually get a lot of more of the young audiences to be more involved and be able to be more engaged in voting, which is something that we should push more so that we are able to get more voters, young voters, and so that we are able to be more unified as a country and be able to spark change, especially in things that we may not seem, in things that we may see that are not right. And it's something that everyone should be involved in, despite their different opinions, despite their different ideals and morals. We should all come as one and engage in discussing our differences and discussing uh, in comprising a more unified approach to this nation. Although many may, although many may not be active in the power of voting, it's a privilege that many may take for granted. Along with this, we have the power to make a change in this nation, and we should let our voices be heard. Because at the end of the day, if we stay silent and we stay quiet, things don't that won't lead to change, and we will remain in the same problems and the same racial prejudice that many may be oppressed under. And we should all let our voices be heard, and so that we're able to spark a change and make this a much better nation for all of us. Because at the end of the day, we are all brothers and sisters here, and it's this same land that we share, and we all are under the same laws. So thank you for that, and have a blessed day.